Friends, thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Richard Lee, your mayoral candidate for the city of Richmond. As a former city councilor, as a two-term school trustee, I am ever mindful of the importance of income and revenue for a city must be in balance at all times. But of equal importance is the fact that even in spending $1 of your money, taxpayers' dollars, not to talk about the $150 million that was recently mentioned, it must be totally transparent. City Hall at all times must be totally open and transparent in spending any taxpayers' money. As an experienced lawyer and as a former advisor to Correctional Services of Canada, I am always mindful of the must of a effective law enforcement, the must of a proper way to contain and get rid of gang activities in our city, and I'm ever mindful of public safety. Make no doubt about that. As a longtime community volunteer in Richmond since 2005, I care about my neighbors, I care about my community. And I want to be the mayor because I want to work with you to make Richmond an even better place to live. In the making of a better Richmond, what are the key important issues? Well, there are three. One is spending of taxpayers' money. City Council must be open and transparent at all times in the spending of taxpayers' money, no matter how much or how little, whether it be $1 or $150 million. Now, we must make sure that we are continuing to support our local businesses, that is generating jobs for us. But we must also do our very best to attract other businesses from nearby municipalities, from anywhere in the province, to come and start their business in Richmond. Of equal importance is the pursuing of opportunities for there to be a joint venture between public companies and private companies in the building of a certain kinds of public facilities. And I'm talking about like the much needed swimming pool. I'm talking about the much needed older adult activity center at Mineral. And the final item in that regard is I propose a hard cap for property tax increase early in the budget process so that we won't have what we have seen year after year after year, that is City Council throwing their hands up at the end of a budgeting process saying, well, I'm afraid we failed again. We're unable to stick. At the beginning, we were thinking of applying the cap of an inflation rate, but now we must allow that be exceeded by whatever. No. Me as the mayor, I'm going to make sure that the message is clear to all my councillors that we're going to have two caps. One is imposed on us by the city, that the budget must always be balanced, and the other one is a cap that we're going to impose on ourselves, that the property tax increase will not be allowed to exceed inflation. And then, by hook or by crook, nobody gets to go home until we get that worked out. Now, Richmond as a caring community, well, how do we make sure that that's going to continue on and even get better? Well, let me share with you. We must continue to ensure that green space is plenty in our city where it's needed. For example, I mean, it's our treasure. We now have the Garden City lands. I mean, that's a jewel, and we're going to implement what the suggestions have been made by a very active and very enthusiastic group of citizens. We will continue to support community events that bring people together. In the same way, we must hold out a welcoming and a helping hand to our new immigrants who have decided to make Richmond their home. Because in turn, these new immigrants who are now Richmondites, they will make their contribution. And together, we will make the city better. And as a caring community, we must bring actual units under our affordable housing strategy and not just of a strategy on paper. And they are to be for our elders. They are to be for our families with children. And very importantly, they are to be for our generation who are in their 20s, because they are having a hard time trying to acquire an affordable home. And now to my final point. And I say to you, not necessarily densification, but densification when it's necessary. But when we're talking densification, we must always make sure that two things are sacred. One is the preservation of our unique neighborhoods. The other one is to make sure that at the time of allowing certain new developments, it is built in to the new development plan that there is sufficient public transportation, public transit. And with the new developments, we must also make very sure that with it will come the public transit that is required, whether it be our bridges, whether it be our roads, whether it be the tunnel, that with new development, gridlock will not come with it. So those are the two key points on any new developments that we are about to give our blessings to. The preservation of our unique neighborhoods, and that the infrastructure for public transit, that there be no gridlocks, whether it be on our roads, on our bridges, in the tunnel, or at any of our intersections. Those are the preconditions. Otherwise, like I say, not necessarily densification, but densification when necessary with these protections. Well, Election Day will be around the corner. With your participation, you and I, we will together make Richmond yet a better place. Thank you.